Héðinn restaurant was the hotel restaurant for Centre Hotels. They had an incredible building that was a former industrial building. It was very close to the harbour in the Grandi area of Reykjavik, and the architecture of the space itself was incredible. It was a vast space. It had never been used for any sort of hospitality or any other type of use other than it had been a shipbuilding factory. So the first challenge for us was to be able to create a warm feeling and warm and welcoming restaurant space within this kind of almost cavernous environment. How we approached the project, we first of all, of course, looked at the target audience, who was going to be visiting the restaurant. Of course, we knew that we wanted to make sure that the hotel guests would want to eat there and would love to eat there. But the other big thing that we wanted to do was to make sure that it was a destination restaurant for Reykjavik city itself. So we wanted to give back something to the city as well, somewhere that both locals and visitors could both eat and dine together. So we did a lot of research in Reykjavik itself, looking at all the great places to eat that were there already, and taking the inspiration then from the architecture of the building and almost sort of contrasting that with the sort of beautiful and organic and powerful landscape of Iceland against this really quite brutalist and concrete space. And we created the concept of man versus nature. And what that gave us was it gave us lots to work with in terms of both the spatial design, but also within the branding as well, how kind of organic textures or materials or forms could meet up with more man-made and rigid forms. And so when we started to plan out the space, you know, we intentionally created these really organic shapes, which then became the open grill and the mid-floor bar, which were really hero points within the restaurant. And the contrast of that against then the more rectilinear space. We also then looked to soften the ceiling. We created almost a nod to the Northern Lights with these really sculptural and organic ceiling features that enveloped both the bar and the grill area, and then sort of brought the entire space together. We explored a lot of different materials as well for this project. We brought in the shosugi ban, which was a charred timber, which we used around the bar and the grill area, obviously nodding to the fact that it was made with flame, the food was made with flame. And then also more natural materials came through, and of course trying to soften the space as well. We used a lot of fabric to then divide the space.